I was born Aisin Gioro Pǔyí in February 1906, a child of royal lineage but unaware of the immense weight my name would bear. In December 1908, at the tender age of just 2 years and 10 months, my life changed forever. The Empress Dowager Longyu lay on her deathbed, and with her final decree, she named me, a toddler, as the emperor of the great Qing Dynasty. Suddenly, I became the son of heaven, the ruler of an empire over 200 million strong, though I could barely walk or speak. My coronation was a grand spectacle of tradition and solemnity. I was dressed in imperial robes far too large for my small frame and carried to the dragon throne in the Forbidden City. I recall none of it, of course, but the tales told by my attendants paint a surreal picture of a child emperor, confused and crying amidst the rituals. It was a position I inherited without choice, yet one that would define my life. The truth is, I was emperor in name only. The Dowager Empress Longyu and the regent Xifeng, my biological father, wielded actual power. My days were confined within the opulent but suffocating walls of the Forbidden City. My life was meticulously controlled by eunuchs and advisors, who dictated every aspect of my existence, from the clothes I wore to the words I spoke. I had no playmates, no normal childhood. I was isolated in an ancient world of rituals and traditions while the world outside began to change dramatically. By the early 20th century, the Qing dynasty, once powerful and revered, was a shadow of its former glory. Internal corruption, coupled with foreign invasions and humiliations, had eroded the foundation of the empire. Revolutionary ideas swept through China, championed by figures like Sun Yat-sen and the growing Republican movement. In 1911, rebellion erupted in Wuchang, setting off the Xinhai Revolution. The tide against the monarchy was swift and unrelenting. By early 1912, the revolutionaries had gained control of most of China. My court was in disarray, split between those urging me to abdicate and others clinging to the hope of imperial restoration. On February 12, 1912, under immense pressure, the Dowager Empress Longyu signed the abdication decree on my behalf. I was no longer the Emperor of China, though a peculiar arrangement allowed me to retain my imperial title and continue living in the Forbidden City. I was a child emperor of an empire that no longer existed, a relic of a bygone era. The years that followed were marked by confusion and an identity crisis. The Forbidden City became a gilded cage, and I, its reluctant prisoner. The Republican government granted me a stipend and permitted me to conduct minor ceremonies, but my true power was gone. As I grew older, I began to grasp the enormity of what had transpired. I had been the last flicker of an ancient dynasty extinguished by the forces of modernity and change. Though my reign was brief and my power largely symbolic, the years between 1908 and 1912 were transformative, for me, for the Qing dynasty, and for China itself. I was a child thrust into the whirlwind of history, a symbol of a collapsing empire and the uncertain dawn of a republic. My story, in those formative years, was one of loss and change, but it was also the beginning of a journey to discover my place in a world that had irrevocably changed.